everybody, my name is Python and welcome back to another episode here of Micro Survival from Python's World. Notice anything slightly different behind me, folks? Well, if you've said the fog has changed, you would be quite right. Only we are now in the latest snapshot 25W19A, and with it comes a slight overhauling to Minecraft's fog, and it looks amazing. Anyway, today, my friends, we're gonna get right back to Project Pokemon Librarian Edition. Specifically, this build here, we need to get the interior done, and then we're gonna set up a rudimentary villager breeder. That's right, as opposed to getting lucky over and over and having villager zombie spawn, we're gonna go about it the shorter way. We're gonna have a villager breeder, and then we'll have ourselves like a zombie infection chamber or something or other. And then once all the villagers are infected in here, then yeah, we will go through and we will bulk cure each and every single one of them. All 36 of them. I don't at all expect to have that done today. That's going to be one of those things that's sort of ongoing. We have 3 villager zombies currently in the storage cove, and if we were to cure them all and get them in a villager breeder, it won't take long for the villager population to sort of exponentially increase. We only need them to breed once, and then there will be 4 villagers, and then from 4 villagers you can have another 2, and then from 6 villagers you can have another 3, and 9 villagers another, 4, etc, so on and so forth. So yeah, it's going to be a slow start, but when the population really starts to increase, that's when we're going to have our hands full. But anyways, before we get to that, we need to finish the interior in here. The only thing I've done since the last episode is I've gone ahead and I've made myself a whole bunch of chiseled bookshelves so that when we trade with each of the librarian villagers, we can put any excess enchanted books inside of the chiseled bookshelf here. So we can simply pop one out if we need to enchant something with it. Before I begin though, I just want to say a massive thank you for all of your lovely support in the last episode, both in the form of the likes and also in the form of the lovely comments and suggestions coming in regarding this build. I very much appreciate it. So, we're going to start off by building up a couple of log pillars, rather like this. Basically, just going up to where the second layer floor is going to be. In between the villager pens, we're going to have ourselves some leaves. We've got ourselves a nice smorgasbord of leaves going on here. Azalea, flowering azalea, and oak. We're just going to sort of randomize them. So yeah, already adding a good amount of greenery and foliage to this place. It's looking pretty good. I think the next thing we need to do though is we need to get the second floor down. We need to get the walkway down and then the little villager pens. Random side note, this here settlement, Firefly Falls, is so big that when we're stood over here, there is a slight amount of sort of foggy haze in the distance over there. I mean, look specifically over at where the nether portal is. Like, there's a slight amount of haze going on now. And like I said before, I absolutely love it. I love the fact that they've overhauled the fog. I wonder if that is going to be sort of part 1 of the eventual new shaders I think they said they were going to be adding to this game. The vibrant visuals, I think it's called. And yeah, talking of vibrant visuals, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to trying those out in this world. So far as I know, the vibrant visuals are coming to not only Bedrock, but Java Edition as well, right? Do correct me if I'm wrong, of course. Anyways, no more dilly-dallying. Let's get some stuffs going, shall we? We've got ourselves some oak logs in there. A bunch in here, and a bunch of stairs and other bits and bobs, which we're going to need. Sweet! Alrighty, we've got the sort of basics of the second floor laid down, more specifically the villager area. So actually, while we're at it, we could probably make a start on the villager pen. So it's going to be a lectern and then a chiseled bookshelf. Nice and simple like. There we are. The villager pens are done. Aside from, you know, securing the top part so they can't simply jump out. We now need to extend the pathway out a little bit so, you know, we can actually walk on it. Alrighty, slowly but surely making progress with this thing. So we're putting some upside down stairs underneath so we can keep the villagers in their pens. And in the corners here, I was kind of thinking maybe just a little bit of this to tie off the area. I mean, you know, we can still see the fish tanks. You just have to look at it from the correct angle, I guess. But yeah, this just sort of ties off each corner quite nicely, I think. And now we need to be able to actually get up to the next level. So let's get ourselves some nice basic staircases in. And there we are. Nice basic staircase. I mean, I guess we could decorate this with a few little bits and bobs. Maybe we can dot in some more leaves. And then something that's just popped into my mind right now, what if we were to put like armor stands sort of at the sides of the staircase? Ooh, that could be quite a nice idea, actually. I mean, if we're going to be using this place as kind of like the one-stop shop to be able to make a bunch of armor and gear, I mean, it makes sense to have a bunch of armor stands so we can host the armor upon them, right? And then in terms of the railings for this top walkway, how about some iron bars? And finally, for this ground floor here, all I've done is I've added a little bit of an archway here. And look at this. We've got a little window for this villager that will eventually be going in here. And we've got a tiny bit of space here for storage. Maybe we could put some barrels or something down so we can store emeralds. I mean, you know, trading. We need emeralds for that. So, yeah, it makes sense, I guess. Anyway, we need to get on with this top layer now. And for the most part, I think it's just going to be a whole bunch more leaves. Unless, for an alternate idea, what I could do is maybe budge the leaves to the sort of back layer. Then we can have the logs out front. Oh, I've just realized that's gotten rid of some of the lighting, though. Okay, we'll figure that out in just a bit. But yeah, we do a little bit of this, little bit of this. We bring the logs forward again so the iron bars, you know, fully connect. And then we do something like that. Is that too much brown? Possibly? Maybe we could put leaves on top of this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe we could hide the glowstone back here instead. Yeah, I like that. Hidden lighting. You know how in the last episode I was talking about how maybe we'll have to dig out like a basement for this thing should they wind up adding new enchants in future updates? Well, actually, it turns out we got ourselves a space here and a space over there. For now, I think what we're going to do is we're just going to make them into little seating areas, I guess. And then in the future, should some more enchants be added, we can simply add a couple more villagers to either side here. Yeah, who says your boy doesn't think about the future, huh? Here we are, my friends. We're on the home stretch now. Just got to add in a couple more flower pillars, rather like that. Okay, and then we've got ourselves some logs to add in, rather like so. And then it's going to be just a couple more leaves. And then a few more iron bars. And then we need to plug up these gaps at the sides. And there we are. It's done. Project Pokemon Librarian Edition is ready to begin. We have a giant library now, folks. Oh, do we want to cover up these bits of glowstone? I don't know. Kinda. But yeah, I mean, just look at it. It's a lovely looking build, isn't it? Oh, wait a minute. I'm the flower pot king, and I haven't placed down any flower pots in here. How is it possible that we almost forgot to add flower pots? That is disgusting. All right, now we're done. Oh, armor stands. Darn it! Smooth stone. stone, smooth stone slabs, and armor stands. All right, now, my friends, now this build will be finished. As anything with sort of mid to large size builds, there's always something else to add to them, isn't there? But there we are. We got there. I think we are good. Aside from maybe adding in some signs or maybe item frames. No, we'll go for signs because item frames count as entities. Only we're already going to be massively buffing up the entity count around here by adding the 36 villagers to this place. To have an item frame for each and every single one of the villagers would be another 36 entities. The more entities you have in an area, the more bogged down the performance of the game shall be. It's as simple as that, really. So, yeah, signs don't count as entities so far as I can remember. So signs it is. Good thing we've got quite a lot of logs left over then, isn't it? Now then, in the previous iteration of this giant library build for Project Pokemon Librarian Edition, I think what I did is I actually organized all of the enchants in alphabetical order. Would it be an idea to do that again? I think so. So, I'm thinking we start off here, we go all the way around the ring, and then we carry it on sort of up there and go around the ring as well. I would go ahead and put these signs on the lectern, but we're going to be popping off the lecterns and placing them back down to cycle the trade a whole bunch until we get the things that we're looking for, right? So temporarily for now, I think what we're going to do is we're going to put them on the chiseled bookshelves, or maybe on top of the chiseled bookshelf so we can still, you know, actually put books in there. All right, all 36 tradable enchanted book trade thingies are placed down, and it's all looking good. So we are now officially ready to start populating this place. Oh, wait, I've just realized something. I said I was going to make these into seating areas. There are no seats. Oh, my goodness me. What was I saying before about builds never being finished? So these will be tables. These will be the chairs. And then I was thinking of putting like a flower pot in the middle on top of a spruce log, rather similar to these. So, the next thing we need to do is we need to set up a rudimentary villager breeder. That is actually not that difficult to do at all, in fact. But the first thing we should do is probably cure the villagers. Only, you know, it's nice to maximize our productivity and all that, right? The only thing is, I'm going to have to try and separate the two villagers that were in the boat. Only if one cures faster than the other, the one that's not cured will simply reinfect the one that is cured. Hey, there we go. Hey, let me through, darn it. It's my storage room. But yeah, there we are. They are now separated, and we should be safe to cure all these guys now. Random side note, there is a pretty blatant bug going on here. I don't know if you've noticed it already, but all of my enchanted gear no longer has a glint to it. Which is funny because previously we had a bug whereby some of the non-enchanted gear had a glint. Now it's the opposite way round. Ah, good old snapshot bugs. Thankfully, it's not game-breaking, so we're totally fine. All right, 2 splash potions of weakness. One of them will be for this guy here. Boop. There we are. And the other one will be for these two. Boop. And boop. All right, 3 villagers coming up. Now what we can do is we can get the villager breeder set up. I mean, all we need to do is basically just make ourselves a farmland area and place a whole bunch of beds, and then, I mean, that's pretty much it, right? I'm thinking we have this space here for a temporary villager breeder. This is supposed to be a so-called secret entrance into the settlement, but we'll get to that eventually. For now, I think this space will be ideal for a villager breeder, only, you know, we're right next to the library. Alrighty, so we've got ourselves a bit of a safe haven set up. We're going to add ourselves in a water source rather like that, so it moisturizes all of the land in here. At the back, we're going to have ourselves a whole bunch of beds because villagers need beds in order to breed, and they also need a bunch of farmland and stuff to chuck to each other in order to breed as well. I must admit, I'm kind of wishing that I'd set up an auto sheep shearing farm a little bit earlier in the series, because then I wouldn't have any issues at all making a ton of beds. With that said, though, I'm pretty sure we've got a decent amount of string. I need enough to be able to make enough wool to make 9 beds. Will I have enough? I have no idea. Let's have ourselves a bit of a look, shall we? Okay, that's actually not too bad. All right, let's grab ourselves one of these here villagers. I think what we're going to do is just pull them along in a boat and hope that we don't have too many issues. To be fair, this isn't turning out to be very difficult at all. Me keeping on jumping seems to make the boat ascend the different elevation levels that I need him to. So, come on, get yourself up here, buddy. And then, just need to open this up a little bit. And we're going to drag this guy in. Come on, in you come. Oh, gee whiz, don't go suffocating yourself there, buddy. Right, so that's 1 in. I remember a time when we folks here on Java Edition were not able to leash boats along. Those, my friends, were the dark times. I'm so glad that we can leash boats now similar to Bedrock Edition. It just makes things so much easier and so much less frustrating, more to the point. Remember how at the very beginning of the episode I was saying how the fog has been overhauled for this snapshot? Well, part of that overhaul is them adding more fog to when it's raining. And already I'm kind of noticing it. It looks very much more hazy now, doesn't it? Oh, there is such a nice vibe going on now. I absolutely love it. So then, all 3 villagers are now in the breeder. All we need to do is get the bed set up. And then, the clever part is, if you convert a couple of villagers into farmers, that'll make it so the crops are continually harvested. And thus, the villagers' inventories will never empty of food, which means these guys will always be able to breed. So I'm thinking we put the workstations, I don't know, maybe at the back here. Here we are. Down goes the beds. And that should just about be it. So, F3B, let's get rid of the boats here. Allow these guys to roam around. Okay, they're just going to go straight to sleep, understandably. I mean, you know, it's a very sort of rainy night out here. There's quite the vibe. And I don't know about you folks, but IRL, when it comes to it raining, I always have a very sort of chill, almost tired feeling. Maybe not tired so much as just, I don't know, like I say, chill. Like, I find rain very, very therapeutic, and same for thunderstorms. But anyways, getting back to things, let's get some crops planted. What better way of getting lots and lots of harvested crops than with a fortune tool? Oh, that's a lot. Hey! What the? You stole my potatoes and then just went straight to bed. Oh, my God. We have thieves in here. Oh, this guy is a fisherman. Oh, I bought the... I bought the wrong workstation, and I'm sure you guys have shouted at me in the comments area as a result. I don't blame you. It's not barrels we need, it's composters. Oh, for goodness sake, Python. You've been playing this game for, what, 14 and a half years now? Come on, get your head in the game. Yeah, composters. That's what we're looking for, isn't it? All right, a little bit of a snooze for your boy, as well as the villagers, and we should be able to get this stuff going. So, yep, we've got 1 farmer, and presumably a second one will become a farmer in not too long from now. Anyway, let's go ahead and throw some potatoes. In fact, I'm just going to chuck all of the produce on the floor here. There we are. Go on, start your breedy process. Hey, would you look at that? Almost immediately. Wow, that took no time at all, huh? So, yeah, over time, what should wind up happening is they basically populate all these beds. So there will only ever be a maximum of 9 villagers in here. Oh my God, baby! Look at the amount of produce they're chucking between each other. Oh my word. That's what I call going overkill. I sure hope these guys don't go crazy enough to the point where the food just sits on the floor and despawns. Only if so, then that's a massive waste, isn't it? Anyway, the next time these guys will breed will be, what, in 5 minutes? I think that's the cooldown timer for breeding, right? So I think the final thing we could do in today's episode is probably setting up a simple minecart rail, just so we're nice and prepared for when the breeder is eventually filled up. A thought occurs, why don't I just convert all of the villagers in this breeder to farmers? Then we're not just relying on, you know, only 2 villagers to breed. So long as we don't trade with these guys, their professions are, shall we say, malleable. They can change. So, yeah, we should be okay. So, I'm thinking we start off with the rails going towards the furthest away pen. So that would probably be this top back row, starting with sweeping edge and going onwards. Hey, look at me, look at me. I'm running around my storage cove with no risk of getting slapped around by zombies now. Oh, it feels good to have this place back to myself again. And there we have it, folks. The minecart rail has been set up, and I've even added all the little avenues so the minecart can eventually go into all of the other pens as well. So yeah, this entire top back row has been sorted. Oh, look at that! We now have 5 villagers in here. Yeah! Do you know what? As nice as it is to have the population increase, I feel like we should just add a whole bunch more beds even still. Only, I kind of want to speed this thing along. The only thing is, it means trying to get ourselves a whole bunch of wool. So, I think we're just going to have to go on a bit of a shearing spree, aren't we? Sorry there, buddy. I'm going to have to commandeer your coat for definitely not bed-making purposes. Thank you. Thank you. And you as well. Thank you. To be honest, I don't know exactly how much wool I'm going to be needing for all of the additional beds I'm going to be making, so I think I'm just going to go for, I don't know, a full stack. Last sheep, question mark? Yeah. All right, very good. Let's get back to base. Let's get this villager breeder expanded. Oh, look at this guy. He thinks he's a worthy adversary. Go on, I'll even give you a free slap. Go on, what are you going to do, eh? Wow, 1.5 hearts. Whoa. Don't insult me. What the heck? Oh, they spawned an iron golem, eh? Okay, interesting. So, time for a little bit of Operation Speed Up. Oh, yeah. Operation Speed Up is well underway, folks. So, the final 6 beds for over here. And there we are. We've gone from having a maximum of 9 villagers in here to a maximum of, I believe, 21. Yeah, this breeding process is not going to take anywhere near as long now. Sweet. So, I think on that note, it is time to wrap up today's episode. There's still going to be a good amount of playing the waiting game when it comes to the villagers breeding here, but it won't be anywhere near as long as before when we only had 9 beds in here. So, yeah, next episode, we should be able to really put the hammer down and get these villagers into their pens. I am not under any circumstances going to try and get all of the trades going, though, because that relies way too heavily on RNG. And as you folks know, if you watch my Terraria series, I have a very love-hate relationship when it comes to RNG. For us to try and get 36 specified trades is going to be insane. So that probably will be something that takes a fair while to get done. So then, time to wrap things up with the comment of the day. And first of all, a couple of dono shoutouts. Red Panda Gaming, formerly known as TEOC Photographer. Thank you so much for the £10 donos. This is the last episode. Really appreciate it there, buddy. We've also got BeatJ373 with the €5 dono. Thank you so much, you two. Really appreciate that support. It goes above and beyond, that does. And that just leaves us with the comment of the day. Nezredub says, the library looks awesome. Though I was secretly hoping you'd get some inspiration from the very first time you did this build on the OG Python's world. Creeper-faced window design was one of your best, IMO. Up there with the Pythian. I like the Pythian reference there. For any of you guys who don't know what this is, it was basically like a giant build that I did, which hosted nothing but map walls. I believe that was on the Let's Play that I had going on this channel before I tried to bring the original Python's World back for Season 4. But yeah, creeper face window design. I mean, we have some windows which are large enough for such things. We just need like 3 block wide window walls. So for example, in here, we could quite easily get a creeper face going. It'll be this here and then up there for the mouth and nose, and then obviously the eyes. Dude, maybe that could be something we do in the next episode as well. For now, that'll wrap it up for today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's episode and you're excited to see more, do be sure, of course, to drop a like if you haven't already. Let me know what you think of the interior of our giant library build in the comments area down below. If you got any hints, tips, feedback, suggestions, anything like that, then yeah, leave them in the comments area below. For now though, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you don't want to miss out on my future content. But for now, that'll wrap it up. Have a great rest of your day, and I shall see you folks in the next one. Bye-bye!